Friday night, and it's been a long week in my household and my work. It's the final week before spring break here in BC, or at least in my part of British Columbia, and there's been this sensation of counting down, like just how many more days until we get a break. And I noticed myself at the end of today just like spent, physically spent, emotionally. And I lay down on the couch, and there was that desire to just completely zone out, whether it was with TV or social media and snacks and all, like just, okay, it's holiday time, let me just completely shut off. And there's part of me that's like, yeah, okay, of course. And then there's part of me that's like, I also want to acknowledge where I'm at in my body and with my mind. And I have a feeling that there's a lot of us like this, that we do kind of just survive through the day and through the week, and then we get to the end and it's like, okay, now I'm just done and I'm gonna shut off. And so this is what I love using tapping for as a mom, because it helps me to vent those feelings, to voice those feelings, instead of trying to muffle them with those maybe not so awesome coping tools that we used to use, right? Like, oh, 5 o'clock I can grab a glass of wine, or I can grab a whole bunch of snacks, or I can just ignore everybody and be on my phone. Any of those old coping skills, I use tapping to help give my feelings a voice instead. And it helps me to come back into the present moment and be with my body and my mind, acknowledging what's happening in my mind, like the children playing outside right now, who are also little moments of distraction. So I wanted to do a Friday night end of the week tapping for you to help you voice those feelings and then get ready to choose something new, instead of just settling for this feeling of exhaustion. So go ahead and get comfortable. Take a few breaths in, down to your belly. And just feeling your body in your seat. And we'll start by tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I have these feelings of exhaustion, and they feel overwhelming sometimes, I still love and accept all parts of me. Even though it's the end of the day and part of me just wants to shut down because I'm exhausted, I still love and accept all parts of me. Even though I made it to the end of the week and I feel like I barely survived, right here I am safe, and I still love and accept all parts of me. Okay, and then we're going to tap the body points, continuing to voice and vent how this feels. Starting with the eyebrow point. All of this exhaustion. Side of the eye. I am drained. Under the eyes, both physically and emotionally. Under the nose, it feels like there's nothing left to give. under the mouth, and I just want to tune out. Collarbone point. And then part of me is already planning what's next. Under the arms, that part of me that reminds me I never get to rest. Under the chest. And there's a part of me that's going over this past week. Wrists together, thinking of all the things I should have done. Top of the head. I am exhausted. Eyebrow point. And I'm wondering if there's a way to bring some release. Side of the eye. Especially because I deserve to feel better. Okay, so checking in with yourself. If you think, I never think to do this at the beginning, but thinking to the beginning on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense it was before, that exhaustion, that like survival mode is what it feels like, right? And after a round of tapping, has that begun to come down? Because what tapping does is it soothes the nervous system. You're tapping on these acupressure points that helps to slow the release of cortisol, helps to get you out of that stress response reaction, and to realize like, okay, I am done for now, and I have these feelings, and they're just feelings, they're not permanent. Starting to think a little more clearly and choose for yourself from a new frame of mind. So what I love to step into once you've vented, and if you're still feeling exhausted, go back and tap again, tap through those points, see what else comes up for you that wants to be heard. But once you've lowered that stress response a little bit, to begin imagining like, okay, yes, I did a lot of work, I did a lot of things, but do I have to feel completely spent? Do I have to be judging the work that I did? Or can I look at it from a different perspective? So we'll start again on the side of the hand. Even though part of me wants to look at this week as really hard, the other part sees it in a new light. And I am loving all parts of me. Even though I've been feeling drained because of all the big things I had to do this week, I am also noticing that there is an energy I get when I honor what I've done. And I choose to love and accept all parts of me. Even though part of me wants to give myself a tough review for how I went through the week. There is another part of me that comes from compassion. And she is ready to celebrate. Okay, eyebrow point. Maybe there's more to see here. Side of the eye. maybe I don't have to carry this exhaustion so long. Under the eyes. I wonder what this exhaustion is trying to tell me. Under the nose. Maybe my body and my mind are asking for some rest. Under the mouth. How would it feel to look at my week without this heavy feeling? Collarbone point. I can acknowledge my hard work. Under the arms. And I can focus on the highlights and the wins. Under the chest. I'm getting ready to bring my body and my mind back into the present. Wrist point. I'm getting ready to put down this label of judgment. Top of the head. Maybe it's okay to feel tired. Eyebrow point. Especially because I have so many things I have accomplished. Okay, I love doing these videos as well because I feel the release for myself. So yeah, like instead of having this belief, and this is interesting, when you tap, you start to notice, what are these beliefs that I've been carrying? This belief that being tired at the end of the week is somehow, there's something wrong with that. No, it's actually, of course, if you've been doing all the things and maybe extras that you weren't expecting, or, you know, all the things that moms do, it's understandable to be tired. We are not expected to just function at 100% all the time. We are allowed to power down, but we don't have to tune out while we rest and recuperate. So yeah, there's an interesting perspective shift there. So I want to do one more round of tapping to welcome in that belief that this tiredness and physical, well, exhaustion is still there, that it's not something to be scared of, and it is something that your body and your brain are just reminding you, like, okay, we did all of these things, they were awesome things, you have these things to celebrate, and now you get to rest. And it doesn't require planning for the next day. You are allowed to rest. All right, so let's tap in that. Starting on the eyebrow point. I conquered this week. Side of the eye. And I have more wins than I can count. Under the eyes. I am releasing all of those should-haves. Under the nose, because that's not doing me any good. Under the mouth, I am allowing satisfaction for this week. Collarbone point, I acknowledge my body's efforts. Under the arms, and my mind has done good work. Under the chest, This week was more than just something to get through. Wrist point. I am grateful for all my experiences. Top of the head. I welcome rest and rejuvenation for what's next. And allowing that to sink in, that you are making space for the rest. You've done what needs to be done, and now it's time to relax and enjoy the fruits of your labors. And whether that's an evening or a whole weekend or whatever you can do for yourself to really celebrate everything that you've done this week. And if it's just at the end of the day, what could you do for yourself to really celebrate what you've done? So if you've enjoyed this, please comment below and share it with another mom who could use a little boost of energy at the end of the week. All right. Thanks so much. I'm Shannon Kerr, and I use EFT tapping to help moms let go of these negative beliefs and feel like the mom they want to be. All right. Have a great night.